Well, good morning, everybody. It's Motivation Mornings with Marnie and Melissa. I'm Melissa Houston. I'm a health insurance specialist in Victoria, BC, and I love scarves. I was trying to remember if I had said that before, but hopefully I haven't.
I don't believe you have. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. My name is Marnie Dangerfield, and I'm a wellness coach and advocate right here in Victoria, BC as well. And we had a big dump of snow overnight. And my share today is I have a zero tolerance policy of driving in the snow. I do not drive in the snow.
In Victoria, that's a pretty safe way to be, quite frankly. We have a lot of hills and not a lot of snow tires.
Yes. Well, and I just, haven't chosen to learn how to drive properly in the snow. So nope, I would be a hazard. Let the people know what they're doing, be out there.
Well, this morning, as you can see, we are having a look at a very sleepy koala. This is the koala cam at the San Diego Zoo. I wanted to pick something sort of as a tribute to the wildfires in Australia that we touched upon last week. And with the time change, any live cams in Australia, it's kind of the middle of the night. So they wouldn't do so good. So this is the best I could do, is something a little more local, but hopefully he'll maybe readjust himself a little bit as he snoozes. So we'll see how active this live cam ends up being.
A nice relaxing live cam.
Yeah.
Pause and be. So cute. Yes, you're right, Maggie. So precious.
Just want to snuggle
Hmm. All right. Well, that's great. I love it. Thank you for finding this, Melissa. So we'll get started. I just want to give a bit of an overview. We'll start with our value statement, and then we'll start with sharing our daily inspirations, and then I'll provide a wellness tip for this week, and then Melissa will round us up with contact information and the always inspirational and fantastic motivational quote at the end.
Ooh. Yeah. So our value statement. Today we gather
In the spirit of possibility,
in support of community,
to encourage holistic well-being,
to empower our authentic selves,
to share appreciation,
to express compassion.
and to enjoy this gift of life.
Indeed. Ooh.
Indeed.
Awesome. Well, what are you going to kick us off with today, Marnie?
All right. Well, and I forgot to mention too, feel free, those who are joining us live, to share anything that might be inspiring you today. We love to hear what's going on with you. And if you're watching this on the replay on YouTube, feel free to comment as well. So this week, my inspiration, I was doing some posts on my coaching Facebook page for wellness habits to practice, to cultivate for 2020. And one of them was about movement. And I stumbled upon this book called The Joy of Movement by Kelly McGonigal, how exercise helps us to find happiness, hope, connection, and courage. And the thing that's motivating me from this, and it's stuck with me, and I think for everyone I see, because I share this tidbit, but I want to share it far and wide. But she talks about the psychological effects of movement. It's not, there is an endorphin rush, but it's not just that. There's brain chemicals that get influenced, that give you energy and alleviate worry and help you bond with others, and also reduce inflammation in the brain, which can over time can protect depression, anxiety, and loneliness. I'm reading this bit from her book. And then goes on to talk about, so these neurological changes rival those observed in the most cutting edge treatments for both depression and addiction. This is the part that I get really excited about, that's motivating me. So the mind altering effects of exercise are even embedded in your musculature. During physical activity, muscles secrete hormones into your bloodstream that make your brain more resilient to stress. Scientists call them hope molecules.
Oh,
So I'm just so inspired by thinking about movement and moving and how that's in my body, my muscles are, and same for you, produce what they call hope molecules.
wow.
Anyway, I've just been on a high since reading that. So now I'm just like, let's get moving. It's just, I find it so much more motivating. I mean, obviously all the benefits with our brain chemistry and the physiological and physical effects of movement and, find movement that you enjoy. But just thinking that, those days where maybe, oh, I don't feel like, it's like, wait, I'm going to produce hope molecules. So
Mm.
that's what's inspiring me this week.
Oh, that's so cool. Does she speak at all about, and maybe you haven't even gotten to that part yet, but like amounts? Is it sort of like the more physical activity you do, the more hope molecules there are? Or is it just if you do some, it just sort of all does the
I
same
will,
regardless of how much?
that is a very good question. And I will see if that's in here. I haven't finished the book. Um, so I'll see if I can find out and report back next week because that would be interesting.
Mm,
But I know for me, I just like to think, I'm, no matter what I'm doing with movement, it's like, yeah, moving my muscles, hope molecules. Just
that's so cool. Love it. Thank you so much, Marnie, for sharing that. Oh, I had not heard of those before.
me neither. Our bodies are so amazing.
Oh, I know. There's always more to learn about them. My goodness. All right.
So what about you?
Well, I'm going to share something that I am pretty positive that you are already aware of, Marnie, but it's possible some of our viewers have not heard of it before. And I wanted to share about the Good News Network, um, which is a website, but they also spread the good news in lots of ways. There's an app. They are connected on basically all the different kinds of social media. I guess they now have a book out and a podcast and a newsletter. So, anyways, it's a website that has been running apparently since 1997, which I did not know until I looked it up. But they share good news. That's their whole purpose. And so, if you're, regular news can be kind of disheartening and stressful at times, and it can seem like there's nothing good happening. And I love the fact that there is an organization that is dedicated to spreading the good news, all the inspiring and wonderful things that are happening in the world. Um, I'm now following them on Facebook so that this good news just pops up in my feed. I can enjoy it throughout my days. I thought maybe I would just say what some of the top headlines are right now, just to give you an idea of the kind of things that they have. Um, so they got, let's see, so Peru is protecting Machu Picchu by planting 1 million trees to guard against mudslides and fires. A man was rescued after spending 20 days in Alaskan wilderness following a cabin fire. A teen just discovered a new planet 6.9 times bigger than Earth just days into his NASA internship. Oh, and I like this one. After 95-year-old is swindled out of $16,000 in life savings, town gets it all back by serving spaghetti.
Ah, oh.
And it goes on, like you could just scroll forever because
Mm.
it's been archived and stuff. So um, yeah, I'm going to use that as a go-to resource for any days where it just doesn't seem like, sometimes when the normal news can just make you feel uninspired. So when I need a little boost, having a resource like that to make sure there's you're feeling the good in the world, that's really nice. I like it a lot.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So true. And it's like, yes, there is good news. There's always good news.
Yeah,
And
there is.
yeah, and it's not, that's what often gets reported. So in the
Yes.
mainstream. So I love that idea. I'm going to start following Facebook too now. that positive feed coming in.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Ooh, well, we haven't had a lot of motion from this cute little guy, but
Does things having a good nap.
Yeah, we're not quite done yet, so maybe while you're sharing the wellness tip, he'll scooch over a little.
Yeah, we'll see. So this week got a mini challenge for those who choose to accept it.
Ooh.
Um, do what feels right for you. But another book I've been reading by Dr. Rangan Chatterjee. Hopefully I'm saying his disease disappear, and he's a functional medicine doctor, and he's discovering with chronic stress and different diseases and things how there's a lot we can do without medication that can help. And so this book is about that, and the four main sort of things that he's prescribing are relax, eat, move, and sleep. Those are the four the main sections. And so the challenge this week that I have is in the relax section. And there's so the challenge, and this can be whatever amount of minutes it feels good for you just to begin the habit. Because I know from reading the Atomic Habits, and sometimes choosing just 2 minutes, like something that's really doable each day, is a good start. But if you feel you can do this, it's creating 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes every day to just enjoy me time, you time. So that's one of the things he prescribes is minimum 15 minutes a day of me time every day, and not on the phone, without the phone present. So he says for at least 15 minutes every day and more, stop everything and be utterly selfish. Stop treating relaxation as something that you do, or more likely don't do, when everything else has to be dealt with. Choose to relax. Make it a triple underlined part of your schedule. So highlight it. He's like, set an alarm, and then choose what you will do. I mean, you can just sit with a coffee, have a tub, listen to music. It really, I mean, it's endless of what would be relaxing for you. That's just for you. It's not about anybody else. It's just what feels good for you, and schedule that into your day for 15 minutes. There's 3 rules to it. Firstly, it must be something unashamedly for you and you alone. Secondly, it must not be an activity that involves your smartphone, like I said, tablet or computer. And thirdly, you're not allowed to feel guilty about it, which I think will take practice. And part of this is, with a lot of in this relaxation, just to give a bit of the why, is to help with, a lot of us are in a stressful response most of the time. We're in heightened kind of fight, flight, without really knowing it, because there's a lot of things going on in the day and a lot of distractions, and our physiological systems aren't really getting to shut down and relax. And so for your overall health and well-being, it's really important for your system to do that. So this is one of the steps. There's more, but I thought, what a fun one. Anybody wants to comment, are you willing to try this week? And maybe let us know how it goes. I'm committing to doing it. And he is moving. Talking about relaxation, and he's moving. Yes.
He almost looks yoga-esque, really. His motions are so graceful.
So graceful. And I think he's relaxed.
I think so. Definitely relaxed.
So that's my wellness tip. Oh, yes, the sun, right? And is right on him.
Well, I love that wellness tip, and it might take some practice to not feel guilty about that, because it does tend to be something we deprioritize in our lives.
Yeah.
So I guess that's in the self-care category. I'm glad to know no phones allowed. That's good.
Yeah, and ideally no computers or tablets. I mean, and putting it on the calendar, setting that intention, and making that commitment, like that this is a priority today, which is a big thing for me. It's a big shift.
I use a reminder app for stuff, so I think I'm just going to put a reminder in my phone, and then use that as a reminder to make sure I'm getting it done at some point during the day.
Oh, thank you, Rose. I'm glad you like it. Tip.
Yeah. And of course, thank you so much for everyone who has joined us today. Again, feel free to type in if there's anything that's motivating or inspiring you today that you'd like to share. But in the meantime, I will put up our contact information should anyone want to leave us some feedback or suggestions, anything you felt like chatting with us about. Our email is motivation.mornings@gmail.com. Our Facebook page is with MM. That is where we post the links for these on Zoom and also the recordings for people who are not able to watch live with us in the morning. The YouTube channel is where the video is actually posted, so you can also subscribe to that channel if you want to be notified whenever we have our recordings posted. And lastly, we have our Instagram, motivation_mornings_with_MM. And we have reminders, and I post our quotes on there. So feel free to follow us on there as well. And our quote for the day. Dun, dun, dun. It might have been done before, but it hasn't been done by you. By Elizabeth Gilbert. This makes me think of that Bare Naked Ladies song, It's All Been Done Before.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the difference. It's all been done before, but it hasn't had your unique stamp. So don't let the fact that it's been done before dissuade you from doing something. Because who knows what you can bring and add to whatever that is.
Yes. Yes. I love this quote. Thank you, Melissa. It's like what? We'd have one Italian restaurant if nobody did,
Yes,
attend a restaurant.
exactly. Like, oh, why bother? Well, because your spaghetti may not be like their spaghetti. So, and both can be delicious. It doesn't have to be a competition.
Exactly. Oh, I love this. Woo-hoo.
Awesome. Well, I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And if you are in Victoria, enjoy the snow if you can. It's really quite pleasant when you only have it a few days of the year.
Yes.
And yes, we'll be back next Wednesday for another Motivation Mornings. And we hope you can join us that day as well.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody.
Enjoy your day. See you later.
Great day.
Bye.